very good evening to you and welcome to Global News and Atlantic Television Network. To begin, let's take a look at the biggest stories making the headlines. APC says Fubara's 2025 budget presentation is illegal. Peter Obi denies merger deal with PDP and MPP. Federal government commences implementation of 2024 tax withholding reforms. Labour pushes for minimum wage increase in 2025. South Korea police raid Jeju Air over plane crash. CAF sanctions Equatorial Guinea, others over misconduct. Burna Boy explains reason for assaulting fan. And now the news in details. Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has brushed off the bold declaration by Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara to continue wielding his red biro against his perceived enemies. Speaking at the crossover into the 2025 church service held at St. Paul's Anglican Church, Opobo Town in Opobo-Nkoro local government area, Fubara vowed that he would continue to crush his enemies' red biro. However, speaking through his media aide, Lere Olayinka, the minister cautioned Fubara, saying he has only used his red biro for 2 years. Olayinka also reminded Fubara that Wike has used the same red biro for 14 years and is still using it. All Progressive Congress say the presentation of 2025 budget by the Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara to Okojumbolet third person is a sham and illegal. The APC chairman in Rivers State, Sir Tony Okocha, during a media chat in Port Harcourt, recalled the judgment of Justice James Omotosho of the Federal High Court, wherein the court ruled that a budget must be presented to the Martins Amehule-led House of Assembly, which is recognized by law. Okocha said since no court has declared seats of Amehule and other members vacant, the governor cannot on his own take a decision by presenting a state budget to 3 persons. Okocha therefore called the Nigerians to take note of the excesses of the Rivers State governor by not obeying the judiciary. He stated that instead of the Rivers State governor to make peace with those he offended, which led to the crisis in 2024, he has started fueling the crisis more in 2025.
27 of the assembly members are on this side. 3 members of assembly are on this side. And between you and I, is it not an anathema that a budget of a state as prominent and as all important as Rivers State will be presented to an illegal setting? Court of Appeal in their various judgments on issues like this have touched on these issues and are referred to them as forum. They never ever imagine the word assembly. They say it's a forum. Maybe a forum of friends, but certainly not legislators. From the days of Omotosho, way back in January 2024, it is clear in the judgment of Omotosho that a budget has to be presented to a legislative arm under the leadership of Martins, Right Honorable Martins Chike Amehule. At least no court had declared the seats of the 27 assembly members vacant. No court. And so if your declaration of this is in your mind Leave it now, let it be in your own mind until the court says yes or no. But as we speak, no court. And you don't have the right. You are just a member of the executive arm. So until the court and the law speaks on the matter.
The APC leader in Rivers State, Chief Tony Okocha, emphatically states that Amewule-led assembly members are not members of the All Progressives Congress in Rivers State, stressing that he lost the bid to woo them into the APC. Okocha reiterated that APC will take over the Rivers State government house in 2027.
So what qualifies you for membership of the team? The indices are, the variables are clear. Registration, carry the list. First you qualify, you register, you carry the ID cards and the membership cards of it. So they are members of the People's Democratic Party. I lost that bid to bring them to the APC. He said, look, we had moved our machine from PDP and we are taking it to APC, the new party. When I say machine, chairman of councils, councillors, assembly members, everything had moved. All of us, even all of us, decamped. So what structure is remaining?
Commuters in Yanagwa are groaning over the directive by the Bayelsa State Ministry of Transport to relocate all motor parks operating within Yanagwa and its environs to the no transport terminal at Ibogene in Yanagwa. Commuters have described their ordeal before getting to their respective destinations, particularly during this festive season, distressing and have expressed dismay and outright annoyance over the insensitivity on the part of the State Ministry of Transport to the plight. Some say the state government ought to have called all the gazetted transport unions across the state to a roundtable discussion on the matter before embarking on the forceful relocation of the motor parks to Ibogene. A commuter, Mr. Dwoye Wikimo, noted that the enforcement of the directive by Stenluke security operatives at the motor park at the popular Tombia roundabout is a misplaced priority and a complete miscalculation on the part of the State's Ministry of Transport. Wikimo urged the state government and other relevant stakeholders in the transport sector to rethink and consider the stress and pains the gazetted transport unions and commuters will bear as a result of the sudden and forceful relocation. President of the Federal University Otuoke Students' Union Government, Comrade Azubike Ekene, said the relocation will cause a lot of inconvenience and pain to students of not only the university but also those of the Niger Delta University, Amasoma. Cross River State Governor Basi Otu has commended the Tertiary Education Trust Fund for its significant role in advancing the educational infrastructure to improve teaching and learning across Nigeria. Speaking during the 2024 TED Fund Management Retreat in Calabar, Governor Otu, represented by his deputy, Peter Ode, acknowledged the indispensable contributions of TED Fund to higher education. He stated that without the fund's interventions, university education in the country would face immense challenges, emphasizing that higher education in the country cannot be without TED Fund. The governor urged TED Fund to remain steadfast in its commitment to enhancing the quality of higher education and reaffirming the state government's dedication to partnering with the fund to improve education in Cross River State. TED Fund's Executive Secretary, Sonny Echono, highlighted the fund's progress in reforming and scaling up its interventions through collaboration with its board and the Minister of Education. He noted that these efforts aligned with President Bola Tinubu's vision to make Nigeria's higher education system more responsive to the needs of students, scholars, and other stakeholders. Police in Imo have arrested a Catholic priest, Reverend Father Joseph Eyinaya, who is alleged to have shot dead a teenager at St. Columbus Catholic Church, Amaimo Ikeduru local government area of the state. ATN gathered that the Catholic priest brought out his revolver and shot the young boy who had thrown a firecracker inside the church on December 31st. According to the report, Eyinaya was arrested by police, and the development was confirmed on Thursday by the police spokesman in Imo, Henry Okoye. Imo police spokesman Henry Okoye told newsmen on Thursday that the priest has been arrested and the body of the boy has been recovered and deposited at Ata Ikeduru mortuary. Okoye also said that a detailed investigation has commenced to unravel the facts surrounding the incident. Abducted retired Anglican Archbishop of the Niger Province and former Bishop of Nnewi Diocese, Professor Godwin Okpala, along with his driver, has been freed from captivity after spending about 25 days in the hands of their abductors. Okpala and his driver disappeared on Friday, December 7, 2024, while traveling to the Umuchu community in Aguata local government area of Anambra State, but never arrived at their destination. The prolonged abduction, which lasted for over 10 days, sparked widespread tension and anxiety among residents and stakeholders in Anambra State. The uncertainty surrounding the whereabouts persisted until early Thursday, when news of their release broke. Reliable information about the release was confirmed by a high-ranking church official and supported by a short statement obtained from the diocese. The Archbishop also confirmed his freedom in a brief post on his Facebook page, written, "Praise the Lord." The post attracted numerous reactions, with followers expressing gratitude to God for his safety, while the exact details of the release remain unclear and it's uncertain whether a ransom was paid. The Archbishop's release has sparked celebrations across the Anglican Communion's social media platforms, with many rejoicing over the positive outcome. Ondo State Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa has reiterated that his administration would operate an inclusive, transparent and accountable system that will prioritize the overall welfare and best interests of the people of the state. Aiyedatiwa also said his administration would be driven by utmost dedication, selflessness and love in the running of the state. He stated these during the 2025 First Working Day prayer meeting held at the governor's office in Akure, the state capital. On Thursday, Aiyedatiwa thanked God for the successes recorded in the past year, noting that 2024 was filled with challenges, but God saw the state through. The governor urged public servants and political office holders to remain loyal and committed to the vision of a vibrant Ondo State. Aiyedatiwa also announced plans for a retreat for top government officials and top public servants to align their efforts with the administration's goals. Earlier in his sermon during the event, a pastor at Seasons Life Ministry, Lagos, Michael Ogumbayode, noted that the purpose of the meeting was not only to appreciate God, but also to seek his direction for the year ahead. He emphasized that those who recognize the right thing to do at the right time position themselves for divine favor and alignment with God's will. Nigerian Medical Association in Oyo State has appealed to governments to give more incentives to health workers and doctors to reduce the Japa syndrome in Nigeria. President of the union in the state, Dr. Happy Adedapo, made the appeal in an interview with the newsmen on Thursday in Ibadan. He remarked that the Japa syndrome, which has one of the major challenges of health workers in 2024, could be reduced to the barest minimum if the doctors were made comfortable. Adedapo urged health workers and relevant stakeholders to work in synergy to improve healthcare delivery in Oyo State and Nigeria at large in 2025. Kano State Commander of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency says it arrested 1,345 suspects and seized 8,430.239 kilograms of illicit substances in 2024. The state commander, Mr. Abubakar Idris Ahmed, made this known on Thursday in an interview with News Agency of Nigeria in Kano. He said that the suspect arrested comprised 1,301 males and 44 females. Idris Ahmad said the illicit substances seized include hemp, cocaine, heroin, methamphetamine, codeine, and over 5 million tablets of tramadol. He said the command also secured 128 convictions of various drug-related offenses. According to him, the agency conducted 1,114 drug integrity tests for aspiring candidates for council elections to promote responsible leadership and good governance. He also said that 101 drug addicts were counseled and rehabilitated through the agency's rehabilitation program, which has helped the individuals to be reintegrated into society. Idris Ahmed commended the chairman of the NDLEA, retired Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Marwa, for his sustained support and encouragement that contributed to the agency's achievements. He also expressed gratitude to the Kano State government, sister security agencies, traditional institutions, and other stakeholders for their unrelenting support in the ongoing fight against drug abuse. He lauded the officers and men of the command for their tireless efforts, commitment, and professionalism in discharging the duties. Commissioner of Police in Kaduna State Command Mohammed Rabi on Thursday ordered a full-scale investigation into the alleged assassination attempt of Senator Usman Lawal, PDP Kaduna Central. The order of investigation is contained in a statement issued by the command spokesperson DSP Mansir Hassan on Thursday in Kaduna. Hassan said the alleged assassination attempt on Senator Usman Lawal is unknown to the police. He said that the Commissioner of Police has therefore ordered a full-scale investigation into the matter. Hassan added that the Kaduna State Police Command reiterates its commitment to providing adequate security for all and sundry within the state. 27-year-old woman identified as Fatima Zuma has been apprehended for killing her 25-year-old husband, Baba Aliyu, in Lafiyagi Wafu village in the Kachaya local government area of Niger State. Zuma was said to have married Baba 3 years ago as his second wife after divorcing her first husband, but she had not given birth to Baba, while Baba's first wife had just given birth, and preparations were underway for the naming ceremony. Sources told newsmen that the deceased and the suspect usually had misunderstandings, and even the night before Zuma, Baba beat Zuma. Confessing to the crime, Zuma narrated that there had been an altercation between them that night, and she was beaten by her husband but left the house after the assault. When asked why she killed him, she said they had a misunderstanding where she told him that she did not love him anymore and he beat her up. When the family of Baba was looking for him, she claimed she had not seen him but confessed to the crime 3 days after she killed him. According to her, only she carried out the acts without the help of anybody. The Niger State Police Public Relations Officer DSP Abiodun Wasiu said that the body of Baba Aliyu was found in a bush close to the house, adding that the suspect is currently in police custody. You're watching the Global News in Atlantic Television Network. We'll go on a short break. When we come back, Global News continues. Stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. This is the Global News in Atlantic Television Network, and now to the rest of our stories. Vice President Kashim Shettima has declared that Nigeria will experience a robust economy in 2025. Shettima assured Nigerians that they would smile again as the economy begins to improve in the new year. Speaking in a video shared by President Bola Tinubu's special assistant on social media, Dada Olusegun, via X, Shettima said there is no nation that is immune to the economic headwinds across the world, noting that the crisis in Ukraine and many other global crises are affecting us because we are part of the global economy. Shettima added that the government is collaborating with the National Assembly to address Nigeria's challenges. Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, has applauded the officers and men of the Nigerian Army for their sacrifices and commitment to tackling the numerous security challenges facing the country. The Chief of Army Staff made this appreciation in his New Year's message to soldiers during a special New Year lunch at the Brigade Tactical Headquarters, Tagina, in the Rafi local government area of Niger State on New Year's Day. Oluyede, who was represented by the Commander 18th Brigade, Brigadier General Taye Ahmed, charged the troops to remain focused, disciplined, and loyal to constituted authority. He also urged them to maintain the spirit of patriotism and continue to give the best in the discharge of their assigned duties and responsibilities. Labour Party presidential candidate in the 2023 general elections, Peter Obi, says there is no major deal yet with the People's Democratic Party, the New Nigerian People's Party, or any other party. Obi made this clarification on Thursday morning when he held a press conference in Abuja on the state of the nation. The former Anambra State governor added that no agreement has been established with other parties yet. He rallied all lovers of Nigeria in the political space to come together in 2027 and defeat the All Progressives Congress (APC, which are accused of mismanaging the country's resources. He also described the security situation in the country as unfortunate, saying Nigerians die needlessly due to banditry, terrorism, and kidnapping for ransom. According to him, the level of corruption in Nigeria remained high, and so is the cost of governance, which has led to an astronomical increase in public debt under the current administration of President Bola Tinubu of the APC. Obi stated that government officials willfully mismanaged public funds in 2024 through incessant foreign travels. The former governor of Anambra State advised the president to eliminate corruption through increased transparency and accountability in public procurement and contract award processes. Obi also condemned Tinubu's frequent overseas travels, saying he spent over 30% or about 180 days abroad, covering over 30 publicly recorded overseas trips. The Labour Party chieftain therefore called on the president to spend at least 72 days visiting each of Nigeria's 36 states for 2 days each. Head of Civil Service of the Federation, Mrs. Didi Esther Wilson-Jack, has called for improved service delivery and the fostering of a culture of accountability and efficiency among civil servants in the new year. The HCSF made this statement in a goodwill message to Nigerian workers to mark the New Year celebration. She thanked the workers for what she described as their unwavering dedication and professionalism over the past 5 months since she came into office. She commended the efforts of the workers in advancing the goals of the civil service and contributing to national development. Wilson-Jack noted that by working collaboratively and embracing opportunities for growth, civil servants can create a world-class civil service that drives accelerated national development. National President of the Association of Local Governments of Nigeria, Bello Lawal, has stressed the importance of supporting local government chairmen with actionable feedback and institutionalizing the separation of powers to ensure transparency and accountability. In his New Year message made available to a reporter in Taraba State on Thursday, Lawal called for unity, progress, and the strengthening of democratic governance across Nigeria's 774 local government councils. He reaffirmed his unwavering commitment alongside the National Executive Council Board of Trustees, Management and Staff to enhancing service delivery, accountability, and democratic governance at the grassroots level. Reflecting on the accomplishments of 2024, he lauded the Supreme Court's pivotal judgment and the successful conduct of local government elections in over 15 states. He also noted Algon's strides in securing visibility on the national stage through collaborations with high-level organizations and international partners. Highlighting Algon's peaceful leadership transitions with the past year, Lawal praised the adherence to constitutional imperatives that guided these changes. outlining a strategic roadmap for mobilizing local government chairmen toward best practices, fostering selfless service to communities, and enhancing administrative proficiency through the domestication of peer reviews. He stressed the importance of supporting chairmen with actionable feedback and institutionalizing the separation of powers to ensure transparency and accountability, while urging Nigerians to remain united, resilient, and committed to supporting local governments in fostering democratic principles and improving rural communities. He underscored the role of collective determination in advancing the nation's development in the year ahead. Apex Igbo socio-cultural organization Ohaneze Ndigbo has advocated for inclusion of ethnicity and religion in the forthcoming census. The group also called on Igbo investors to champion the establishment of an international economic hub in the Southeast Zone. In a statement issued on Thursday by Ohanese's factional secretary, General Okechukwu Isuguzora, he commended the efforts of President Bola Tinubu in initiating a significant restructuring of Nigeria through the establishment of the 6 geopolitical zones development commissions. According to Ohanese's statement, this initiative represents a crucial acknowledgement of the diverse tapestry of our nation and addresses historic imbalances among diverse ethnic groups. However, Ohanese asserted that the true realization of the noble aspirations would hang on the early anticipated 2025 national population census. Isuguzoro added that Ohanese Ndigbo remained steadfast in its commitment to advocate for the unconditional release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. On the forthcoming Ohanese election, Isuguzoro said recent attempts by specific Southeast governors to impose a president general from outside Rivers State, particularly from Egbema, Imo State, threatened to undermine the very essence of Igbo identity and core values. And now we bring you ATN Business News. Federal government has commenced the implementation of the 2024 withholding tax regulations, signaling efforts to modernize Nigeria's tax system. Approved by President Bola Tinubu in July 2024 and published in the Official Gazette in October, the revised regulations became effective on January 1st, 2025. Formally titled the Deduction of Tax at Source Withholding Regulations 2024, the updated regulation is designed to streamline compliance processes, reduce inefficiencies, and ease administrative burdens for businesses. These changes are particularly aimed at small and medium enterprises, manufacturers, producers, and farmers sectors considered vital to Nigeria's economic stability and growth. Announcing the commencement of the withholding tax reforms on New Year's Day, Taiwo Oyedele, chairman of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms, outlined several key features of the updated regime. He further highlighted several transformative features of the updated policy. Among them is the exemption of SMEs from withholding tax compliance, a move expected to alleviate administrative challenges and financial constraints, thereby fostering growth and innovation in the sector. Businesses with low profit margins will also benefit from reduced withholding tax rates, which are intended to improve cash flow and lower operational costs. The new regulations exempt manufacturers, producers, and farmers from withholding tax obligations, a measure aimed at strengthening these critical sectors to ensure their sustainability and long-term growth. Nigerian Gas Association, one of the apex bodies of the gas industry in Nigeria, has unveiled a new logo promising future energy sustainability as it marked its silver jubilee. At a recent event in Lagos, the NGA said the new brand identity symbolizes a mission that is evolving from advocacy for policy reforms and investments to positioning natural gas as a central pillar of Nigeria's economic growth, energy transition, and environmental sustainability. Association's President Akachukwu Nwokedi emphasized that the new logo aligns with NGA's commitment to sustainability, capacity development, best practices, and efficiency. Nwokedi added that the NGA was founded 25 years ago with a bold vision to champion the development, utilization, and monetization of Nigeria's vast natural gas resources. According to him, the NGA has consistently advanced the narrative of natural gas as a key driver of Nigeria's energy future through flagship conferences, business forums, capacity building efforts, and influential publications. Nigeria Employers Consultative Association has expressed concerns over rising costs of living, saying the minimum wage of 70,000 naira has actually been eroded by the current realities. In an interview with newsmen, NECA's Director General Adewale Smart Oyerinde said that most private sectors organizations, even before they agreed on 70,000 naira, were paying above 70,000 naira, while the critical minority that were not paying up to 70,000 naira have done the needful that the law was passed to up to the minimum wage to be in alignment with the law. Oyerinde stated that the minimum wage of 70,000 naira has been a challenge for the private sector, but that the private sector has been able to come up with different innovations, different modes, different models, different mechanisms just to keep employees motivated, notwithstanding the squeeze that they are currently facing from the economy, as it were. Oyerinde further stated that before they started the negotiation of minimum wage, the private sector had taken the bull by the horn to continue to support the staff, noting that they know businesses that doubled the salary even before they started negotiating the minimum wage, noting that the minimum wage of 70,000 naira has actually been eroded by the current realities. Oyerinde added that those areas where government is reducing or removing subsidy, that the money should be ploughed back into public infrastructure like good motorable roads, effective and efficient public transport system. He, however, called on the government to address three critical issues: transportation through an effective mass transportation system, food and food security by creating an environment where farmers can plant, harvest, then shelter for individuals. Organized labor says it's pushing for an annual increase to the 70,000 naira minimum wage paid to workers in Nigeria. Trade Union Congress boss Festus Osifo said in an interview that it is important that the minimum wage paid to workers reflects a rise in inflation every year. The president of the Trade Union Congress said members of the organization, as well as their colleagues in the Nigerian Labour Congress, have begun talks in this regard. Recall that in July 2024, after months of protracted talks, the federal government and labor unions reached a consensus figure of 70,000 naira minimum wage, which was later approved by President Bola Tinubu. The increase came 5 years after the last review pegged at 30,000 naira, but with the astronomical rise in cost of living attributed to a more than quadruple hike in energy cost and petrol subsidy removal. Labor unions have argued that 70,000 naira cannot take any work at home and thus demanded a decent living wage. Nigerian stock markets experienced impressive growth in 2024, driven by key macroeconomic development, including banking sector recapitalization, new listing, and increased crude oil revenues, which helped to reduce the country's fiscal imbalance. Notable listings such as Geregu Power PLC, Transcorp Power PLC, Aradel Holdings, and Boa Foods energized trading activities, offering investors a broader range of blue-chip stocks. The depreciation of the naira, influenced by macroeconomic reforms by the Central Bank of Nigeria and the federal government, also significantly boosted market performance. Foreign capital inflow steadily increased, rising from 4% in mid-2023 to an average of 16% by November 2024. According to the Nigerian Exchange Limited, the all-share index delivered a stellar return of 283.45% since 2020, climbing from 26,842.07 at the end of 2019 to 292,640 by December 31st, 2024. The All Senate Index closed 2024 at 102,926.40, reflecting an annual growth of 37.65% compared to 7,477,377 at the end of the 2023. Commenting on the performance, Mr. David Adonri, Vice Chairman of High Cap Securities Limited, described 2024 as a record-breaking year of fantastic performance. He highlighted exceptional growth across all sectors, with the oil and gas sector leading with a remarkable 160% appreciation. You're still watching the news on Atlantic Television Network. Up next is International Tidbits. Former Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant on Wednesday said he was resigning from parliament. Gallant had often taken an independence line against Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his far-right government allies. Netanyahu fired him from the government in November after months of disagreement over the conduct of the war against Hamas in Gaza, but kept his seat as an elected member of the Knesset. In a televised statement, Gallant said just as it is on the battlefield, so it is in public service. There are moments in which one must stop excesses and choose a direction in order to achieve the goals. The former defense chief had often broken ranks with Netanyahu and his coalition allies of far-right and religious parties, including over exemptions granted to ultra-Orthodox Jewish men from serving in the conscript military, a hot-button issue. In March 2023, Netanyahu dismissed Gallant after he urged a halt to a highly contested government plan to cut the Supreme Court's powers. His dismissal sparked mass protests and Netanyahu backtracked. The International Criminal Court has issued arrest warrants for Gallant and Netanyahu along with the Hamas leader for alleged war crimes and crimes against humanity in the Gaza conflict, which Israel has contested. Israeli airstrike has killed no fewer than 10 Palestinians in a tent encampment sheltering displaced families in the southern Gaza Strip early on Thursday. Medics say the 10 people, including women and children, were killed in a tent in Al-Mawasi, designated as a humanitarian area in western Khan Yunis, according to the medics. 15 people were also wounded, but the Israeli military has not immediately commented. Hamas-run Al-Aqsa TV reported that the Director General of Gaza's police department, Mahmoud Salah, and his aide Hassan Shawam were killed in the airstrike. According to health officials in the enclave, Israel has killed over 45,500 Palestinians in the war in Gaza. Most of Gaza's 2.3 million people have been displaced, and much of the tiny coastal strip is in ruins. According to Israeli tallies, the war was triggered by Hamas' October 7, 2023 attack on Israel, in which 1,200 people were killed and another 251 taken hostage in Gaza. Tesla Cybertruck exploded outside a hotel belonging to the United States President-elect Donald Trump in Las Vegas, killing at least one person and wounding 7, police said on Wednesday. U.S. President Joe Biden said authorities were investigating any links between the Las Vegas explosion and an attack earlier on Wednesday in New Orleans, where a truck ploughed into a crowd of New Year's revelers, killing at least 15. However, Biden cautioned that no such links had yet been found. The Federal Bureau of Investigation and local law enforcement said they believed the Tesla blast was an isolated incident, but they were investigating whether it was an act of terrorism. Las Vegas Sheriff Kevin McMahill told reporters that the electric vehicle made by the company owned by Trump's backer, Elon Musk, pulled up to the Trump International Hotel's glass entrance before a large explosion. Video footage shows the stainless steel truck parked at the hotel entrance before bursting into flames, following by smaller explosions that appeared similar to fireworks. United Kingdom government on Thursday announced new measures targeting people smuggling gangs, including travel bans and restrictions on phone and social media use for suspected criminals. These actions form part of the Border Security Asylum in Immigration Bill, aimed at dismantling organized immigration crime networks. The legislation introduces interim orders enabling law enforcement agencies to impose immediate restrictions on individuals suspected of people smuggling. These orders, which can be enforced without a conviction, will be issued by High Court to disrupt criminal activities while investigations continue. Restrictions under these orders can include bans on travel, the use of electronic devices, and access to social media platforms. The Home Secretary, Betty Cooper, stated that the government is committed to tackling these dangerous networks and protecting lives, adding that people smuggling operations undermine border security and exploit vulnerable individuals. The measures aim to prevent smugglers from operating freely while giving authorities the tools to investigate and prosecute more effectively. The crackdown follows the disruption of a major Afghan people smuggling ring in a joint operation between UK and Belgian authorities. The gang, responsible for transporting thousands of migrants across Europe, also committed serious offences, including sexual crimes against minors. These new powers will strengthen the work of the recently established Border Security Command, a coordinated effort supported by €150 million to combat organized immigration crime. The government's approach also includes international partnerships with countries such as Germany and Iraq to address the global dimension of people smuggling. South Korean police on Thursday raided the offices of Jeju Air and the operator of Muan International Airport as part of the probe into the fatal crash of a Boeing 737-800 plane that killed 179 people. The flight was carrying 181 people from Thailand to South Korea on Sunday when it issued a mayday call and barely landed before slamming into a barrier, killing everyone aboard except 2 flight attendants pulled from the burning wreckage. Authorities carried out search and seizure operations at the Muan Airport where Flight 2216 crashed, a regional aviation office in the southwestern city, and Jeju Air's office in the capital, Seoul. South Korean and U.S. investigators, including from Boeing, have been combing the crash since the disaster to establish a caucus, with both black boxes found and decoding work ongoing. Police told newsmen that the search warrant was issued and Yonhap reported it was approved on charges of professional negligence resulting in death. Citing officials, South Korea has also announced it will inspect all Boeing 737-800 aircrafts operated by its carriers, focusing on the landing gear, which appears to have South Korea's acting President Choi Sang-mok said on Thursday that immediate action must be taken if that probe uncovered any issues with the aircraft's model. Authorities have previously said 101 aircrafts of the same model were in operation by 6 different airlines. South Korea's impeached President Yoon Suk-yeol says he will fight until the end as he faces an attempt by authorities to arrest him over a short-lived December 3rd martial law. Writing in a letter late on Wednesday to the estimated hundreds of supporters who gathered near his official residence protesting his investigation, Yoon thanked the supporters for their efforts. The deep opposition Democratic Party, which has majority control of parliament and led the impeachment of Yoon on December 14, said the letter proved that Yoon was delusional and remains committed to complete his insurrection. Party spokesperson Jo Sung-lee said in a statement that it is trying to stage insurrection wasn't enough. Yoon is now inciting his supporters to an extreme clash. It recalls that a court on Tuesday approved a warrant for Yoon's arrest, which potentially would make him the first sitting president to be detained as part of investigations over allegations he masterminded insurrection by trying to impose martial law. Insurrection is one of the few criminal charges from which a South Korean president does not have immunity. Yoon has been suspended from presidential duties and Finance Minister Choi Sang-mok has taken over as acting president until the outcome of the trial. If the court upholds the impeachment and Yoon is removed from office, a new presidential election will be held within 60 days. Here now is ATN Sports News. CAF Disciplinary Board convened to address several incidents and matters arising from the Total Energies CAF Africa Cup of Nations Morocco 2025 qualifiers and CAF interclub competitions. Various teams and football federations faced sanctions for misconduct, security lapses and fan disturbances during critical fixtures. The board's ruling, according to the release, were said to be aimed at curbing disruptive behavior and reinforcing security standards across participating nations and clubs. Equatorial Guinea faced charges for failing to provide adequate security during the AFCON 2025 qualifiers match against Togo on November 14, 2024 in Malabo. The disciplinary board found Equatorial Guinea guilty and issued a suspended fine of $25,000 US, alongside an additional $5,000 US penalty due to pitch invasion by supporters. Benin's Football Federation was charged with non-cooperation breaching Article 45 of the CAF Disciplinary Code during the qualifier against Rwanda. The board imposed a USD 5,000 fine for these violation. Furthermore, Benin was fined an additional $50,000 US to $25,000 US, of which is suspended for misconduct by officials following the match. The Libyan Football Federation was penalized for supporter and official misconduct during their AFCON 2025 qualifiers clash with Benin in Benghazi on November 18, 2024. Citing violations of Articles 82 and 151 of the CAF Disciplinary Code, the board imposed a USD 50,000 Naira US fine and mandated Libya to play the next two official home matches behind closed doors. Grenada forward Edna Imade has been voted Liga F Player of the Month for December. The Nigerian beat Amayo Serigi, Real Sociedad, John Amazega, Athletic Club Saint Brun, Real Madrid CF, Esme Bruts of FC Barcelona, Remani Salvado, RCD Espanyol, and Andre Alvarez as the heir to the award. The 24-year-old is the fourth recipient of the award. Imade racked up 3 goals and 1 assist for Grenada in the month under review. She has netted 8 times for Grenada this season. Super Falcons captain Rashidat Ajibade claimed the inaugural award in September. Alexia Putelas and Patrick Gujaro won the award in October and November respectively. Barcelona midfielder Frankie de Jong has given conditions to leave the club. The 27-year-old said he would depart from Barcelona if he felt that he couldn't contribute enough or the team couldn't compete for major trophies. De Jong joined Barcelona from Ajax in 2019. His contract with the Spanish La Liga Giants will expire in the summer of 2026. The Dutchman is yet to sign a new deal with the Blaugrana. De Jong had 2 summers ago turned down a move to Premier League side Manchester United even after Barcelona tried to force him out. His future was subject to speculation throughout the last summer transfer window, but he ended up staying at Camp Nou. He has been an integral part of the starting in recent seasons, although the struggles with injuries last season. De Jong said if he feels that he can't contribute enough or the team can't compete, he would be gone. Agnes Caleti, the world's oldest living Olympic gold medalist and a Holocaust survivor, has died at the age of 103. 5-time Olympic champion Hungarian gymnast Caleti, who won her first gold aged 31 at the 1952 Games in Helsinki before winning 4 more in Melbourne in 1956 to become the oldest female gymnast to win gold. Her 10th Olympic medals, including 5 golds, make Caleti the second most successful Hungarian athlete of all time. Caleti was born in Budapest in 1921 and won her first Hungarian championship in 1940. But later that year, she was banned from all sports activities because of her Jewish origin. According to the Hungarian Olympic Committee HOC, Caleti escaped deportation to Nazi death camps by hiding in a village south of Budapest with false papers. Her father and several relatives died in the Auschwitz death camp. A year after the Melbourne Games, Caleti settled in Israel, where she married and had 2 children while coaching gymnastics. Caleti died on Thursday at Budapest Military Hospital, where she was being treated for heart failure and breathing difficulties. Says the HOC, she would have turned 104 on January 9th. And now we bring you entertainment news. A famous Nigerian singer, Brother Boy, has finally revealed why he kicked a fan during his performance at a Lagos concert. ATN reports that the singer was captured in a now controversial video on social media, abruptly exiting the stage after assaulting a fan who tried to touch him at the 2025 Lagos Countdown concert. Reacting to the incident online, many users criticized the musician and tagged him the most arrogant Nigerian artist. Addressing the controversy in an Instagram story on Wednesday evening, Burna Boy stated that he has PTSD and warned his fan not to ever jump on his stage. ATN reports that PTSD, known as post-traumatic stress disorder, is characterized by failure to recover from witnessing or experiencing a terrifying event. Nigerian singer Wizkid has hit another milestone as the first African artist to surpass 8 billion streams on Spotify. The 8 billion streams include both leads and features. His collaborative hit with Canadian superstar Drake, One Dance, is his most streamed song on the platform with over 2 billion streams. Wizkid's most streamed album on the platform is the deluxe edition of his fourth studio album, Made in Lagos, with about 1 billion streams. Meanwhile, Burna Boy has hit 7.2 billion streams on Spotify, making him the second most streamed African artist on the platform. He is the most followed Afrobeats artist on the platform. British Grim star Stormzy has been banned from driving for 9 months after being caught using a mobile phone behind the wheel of his Rolls-Royce Wraith in West London. The 31-year-old rapper, whose real name is Michael Ebenezer Award Jr., pleaded guilty via letter to the offense, which occurred on Addison Road, West Kensington, in March last year. Sky News also stated that District Judge Andrew Sweet, presiding at Wimbledon Magistrate Court, criticized Stormzy's dangerous and irresponsible actions, noting that his driving record was not good. According to multiple reports, the judge added 6 points to the rapper's license, resulting in the automatic disqualification and the impose of a fine of 2,010 euros. The Grim star had initially denied the charge but later wrote to the court to change his plea. This incident follows a pattern of driving infractions for the award-winning artist. Prosecutor Alice Holloway revealed that in October 2023, Stormzy was stopped while driving a Lamborghini Urus with front windows illegally tinted to only 4% light transmission, far below the legal requirement of 70%. At the time, Holloway stated that the vehicle's condition posed a risk to vulnerable road users. And that's the size of the package on Global News for tonight. Before we go, another look at the major stories. Well, we told you that APC says Fubara's 2025 budget presentation is illegal. We also told you that Peter Obi denies merger deal with PDP and MPP. You also heard that federal government commences implementation of 2024 tax withholding reforms. Labour pushes for minimum wage increase in 2025. And on international tidbits, we told you that South Korean police raid Jeju over plane crash. And on sports, CAF sanctions Equatorial Guinea, others over misconduct. And on entertainment, we told you that Burna Boy explains reason for assaulting fan. Thank you so much for watching the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. I am Victor Peter. Remember, you can follow us on our social media platforms, on Twitter at Atlantic TV Net, Facebook and YouTube at Atlantic Television Network, Instagram at Atlantic TV Network. Remember, peace and unity are always the pathways to progress. Good night.